After the last wear and compare lipstick video, lots of you requested that I do a budget version. So I was going through my collection and thinking, what should I choose? And I decided to make it a little bit more themed than just budget because it was too difficult to choose brands. If you want me to talk about specific brands, or you want to kind of suggest the brands you want, or specific products from those brands that you want me to test out, then let me know and I'll try and collate the best answers, or the popular answers for the next one. But today we're going to talk about liquid lipsticks because they're kind of a hot topic right now, but all of these are kind of drugstore price points. So I'm going to start with an old favourite that I feel like is the benchmark, and that is the Cream Puff from Collection. If you remember, if you've watched me for a long time, then I used to really like the Minors ones. Most of the Minors ones that I had dried up, these are identical. The shades were ever so slightly different, but in formula, the smell, everything, even the packaging, absolutely identical. So this is the Cream Puff Velvety Soft Matte Finish Lip Cream from Collection, and the colour that I have is Cotton Candy. I think it applies really well, it tends to last quite well, but rather than the previous ones that I did where I did a 7-hour test, I'm going to take you with me throughout the day and see how it's wearing and how many times I need to top up in 7 hours. I did have to reapply after about 3 hours. I hadn't eaten or drunk anything at that point, so I kind of waited the 3-hour point and then ate and reapplied after that, so I can't really tell you about that, but I would say after 3 hours you'd have to reapply even if you haven't, and overall with one application it lasted me easily 6 hours. Now with some of these, as we go along, one thing with a liquid lipstick is some of them don't reapply all that well on top of each other. Some of them you definitely would do better to kind of wipe the whole thing off and start again, which this is definitely one of those products. It's very, very dry after about 3 hours, and when you apply over the top, it doesn't really add any more moisture in. So you're kind of applying a quite dry product over very, very dry lips because it's kind of sapped all the moisture out. So that's one thing to bear in mind. I would, under normal circumstances, if I had the opportunity to get rid of it all and start again, that's what I would recommend. But today I didn't, just to kind of test it out, and it's not particularly uncomfortable. I just know that the second application would have looked better had I started from fresh. So this is still a product that I would recommend, really, really good price point, and one I will repurchase. Today's lipstick is going to be the new Revlon Ultra HD Matte Lip Colour. Looks like this. I actually mentioned this in a vlog whilst we were in America because I picked this up on the first day that we got there. I was so excited to see them because I'm a big fan of liquid matte lipsticks, and I picked it up thinking, wow, this is totally, I mean, the colour, everything about it, I was going to love it. And I tried it and hated it immediately. Now again, as I mentioned yesterday, I'm going to be wearing a very, very thin layer of lip balm under each of these this week, and so maybe this is going to affect it slightly. Maybe the fact that I just got off a long haul flight into colder weather might possibly have affected the way that this wore, but I can tell you my first impressions were not good, and I want to include this because it's a big kind of buzz product at the moment. It's brand new from Revlon, at least in the UK. And so I want to test it out in the series. That being said, I haven't tried any of the bolder colours, and a lot of the time the bolder lip colours do work a little bit better, so I can't speak for the entire range, but I have tried this one before. Second impressions are considerably improved. The first time I just kind of wanted to put that out there. I want my opinion about this product to change. I really want to like it. I really want to want out and buy more, because this packaging at this price point, everything about this I really like. It's just the product itself was like, oh my god, I hate this, and I really wanted to love it. So we shall see, but the first time I put it on, I couldn't even leave it 5 minutes. It was so horrendously dry, and just my lips felt awful. This time I don't feel like that at all yet, but like I say, I have layered it up, so we shall see how it lasts throughout the day. So this has lasted really, really well. It's been more than 7 hours now, and I actually haven't topped it up. You can see it's wearing away. It's kind of just a little over a lip line now, but for the colour, for a full 7 day, you know, I've eaten and I've drunk and all that, totally fine. I'm shocked by this. It's really impressed me. Just goes to show that you shouldn't just try something once and just disregard it, because this has really impressed me now. It is a little bit drying, but what isn't of these kind of products? I feel like, you know, at this point I do really feel like I want to put some lip balm on and just take this off, but colour wise and how well it's lasted, it's pretty good. Today's lipstick is going to be the Rouge Edition Velvet from Bourjois, and the shade that I have is Nude-ist. Quick pause to do the rest of my makeup because I completely forgot. Anyway, so I totally forgot that I had these. They were kind of stashed at the back of my drawer, and these are some of my absolute favourites, so I'm glad that I remembered them in time to include them in the little series. Why is this not focusing? Just get my eyes out of the picture, there we go. I'm sure you've seen it before. They're all kind of these doe foot applicators that I'm showing you, so this is no different, and they've all got kind of, I want to say they've all got a vanilla fragrance, but I feel like this one did have a vanilla fragrance, and I've maybe had it too long because it doesn't anymore. Did it used to have that? ponderings. This is actually my full work day and I haven't topped it up at all. I'm really impressed. I mean, it's been a while since I wore it because obviously I kind of forgot that I had it, dug way away there, but I do remember really enjoying these formulas, and when I wanted a really bold colour, like a red or something, these would be the ones that I would pick. And it's totally, I'm just kind of completely in love with it all over again. It never really 100% dries. Even now, it's got slight tackiness to it, which is probably the reason that it manages to stay on so well and not feel massively uncomfortable. Obviously, there is a little bit of wear here, and it would look nicer if I topped it up right now, but it's done really well. To say that I've sat at work, I've had my breakfast, lunch, eaten, drunk, everything, and it's been really good. So far, this is the clear winner for both longevity and comfort. So it's actually been a couple of weeks since the last clip, and I kept meaning to kind of finish this video and I just never got around to it. Sorry, it's really early, I'm like, get it together to actually film the video. I'm going to use the Velvet Lip Cream from H&M in Enchante. This is the colour that I'm going to use today. I wanted to use the one from NYX. I think that's where it all fell apart. I hauled the one from NYX a few weeks ago, and it was a super dark brown one, and I think in the back of my mind I was thinking, I'll order that and that'll finish the series. And when that arrived, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this because I couldn't see an entire day of me wearing that. That's the whole point of the thing. But I'm going to use this one today. It's a much more bubblegum pink than I remember it. It's like a real kind of, I don't know, maybe it's the same as this. I kind of expected it to be more of a muted, mauvey nude kind of colour, but it's definitely more of a, almost like a Barbie pink, so. But it's, oh no, it has set immediately. Let me just check the mirror. Oh, I was going to say it's not dry, but it is. Okay, and another thing, don't press your lips together whilst it's drying because it creates lines. It has that kind of like liquid paper texture to it, very thin on my lips. And it always makes me feel like it's going to last longer, but who knows, it could just wear away horribly because of that. So I'm going to go to work for the day, as you do. I'm probably not going to top this one up because I just checked back over the other clips, and the other ones, most of them I didn't top up. The idea was that I would, but then it's kind of not really convenient to do it, so I'll probably not top it up, but we'll see. And then I'll come back to you at the end of the day, you know the drill, and I will show you how it's worn. This has been pretty good. I mean, immediately as soon as I put it on, maybe within like 10 to 15 minutes, it was so dry. I like desperately wanted some balm or just to lick my lips in general, and I've been so conscious all day at work not to lick my lips. And when I was drinking my tea and stuff, I was very like, not to get too much liquid on them because I was very aware that that was going to wear away really quickly. And you can see the inside part of the liquid lipstick? The lipstick has definitely worn away. This is very dry, but overall the coverage is pretty good. I obviously made some allowances for it, and I behaved slightly differently whilst I was wearing it to make it last a little bit longer. But I would say if you're looking for a long-lasting lipstick, it's not that bad. It's not particularly comfortable to wear, but it did last quite a long time. Wow, it is so bright today. Today I'm going to try the NYX Lingerie Teddy liquid lipstick, and this is the one that I hauled a little while ago and thought that it was going to be a much paler colour than this, and I'm actually wearing it on a Monday. I'm going to have to do the school run wearing this, but I'm hoping, because I'm doing it early enough, that the 7 hours will fall just before I have to pick Milo up later. The formula reminds me a lot of the Bourjois one. It's a kind of that silicone-y, doesn't quite dry texture, and that's not what I expected this to be at all. I thought it was going to be very thin and do that very dry texture to the lips like the last one that I showed you. It did actually end up drying exactly as I expected. One thing that I do think is kind of irritating, the other ones that you saw were all in kind of quite short bottles or short tubes, and this is really long, and a little bit like the Kat Von D one, and I've mentioned this in different videos. I find it really difficult to apply. It seems to be kind of, for gloss it's not such a big deal because normally with a gloss you're just kind of sweeping it on, but for something that you need to apply quite precise, especially a dark colour of one of these, but something that you want quite a precise line, I felt like it was an unnatural length away, and I don't know if that's just because most of the matte liquid lipsticks that you use are very short, or what it is. I mean, I suppose if you were to use a brush it would be longer, but I would never do that anyway. But that's the only thing that I would say, and I think that's the same as the Kat Von D, that I don't particularly like that. But first impressions, I like the texture, I like the way that it looks, the actual, what's the word I'm looking for, finish, but we'll see how this lasts throughout the day. I'm really hoping that this one lasts a really long time and doesn't wear in an unattractive way, because in a couple of hours when I need to do the school run, I'm going to feel self-conscious enough wearing a colour that I'm not comfortable in without it actually wearing away really horribly. So we shall see, but this is the final in our 5, so fingers crossed we're ending on a high. So it's been around 7 hours, maybe just shy, maybe like 6.5, but I think that we can see what we need to see by this point. It has worn in a really similar way to the H&M colour, and I think that the reason that I liked that one potentially more than this one is because of the colour that it was. Not because I don't like this colour, although I don't on me, but because this is such a bold colour that when it starts to wear away there, it's very obvious, whereas if this was a pink or something closer to my natural lip colour, it wouldn't be as obvious. I wouldn't be totally put off buying another one of these in a different colour, something that was more neutral, but I wouldn't want to wear any of these in a really bold colour again, or a very dark one, because once it starts to wear away, it doesn't wear away evenly. It's a very long wearing lip product. It's just that where it's long wearing, it's not going to budge, and then it will wear away in the areas where you're eating and drinking. It's going to become really obvious after like not that much time. It was super dry like the H&M one after about 10 or 20 minutes, and it became really uncomfortable to wear. I probably would have been topping it up and potentially having to wipe it away and top it up more frequently than the other ones. But overall, I think that the only difference between this one and the H&M one would be the fact that this colour is not as easy to get away with as it wears in that same way. Talking best and worst, looking back over the clips, I think that I gave the NYX one a little bit too much credit. One of the pitfalls of disjointed filming is you forget what you talked about. Not the NYX one, I meant the Revlon Ultra HD. Again, it was down to the colour that once it was wearing away, it wasn't that obvious, and looking at the before and after, it really didn't wear that well. I would say that that one was probably the one that wore the least well overall. The Bourjois one, if you were looking for a bolder colour, I would still recommend that one, because I think that that does wear a little bit more evenly. It never 100% dries, and so it's never maybe quite as long lasting. I mean, my upper lip here, I feel like this is going to stay on for the rest of my life. I would wear any of these again. I think the only thing that it's going to come down to is which colour I would want in each of them, and how long it's going to be before I feel comfortable reapplying that lip. So if I was going to be out all day, I probably would choose one of the more neutral ones, or I would choose something from the Bourjois range. That is one of my favourites. I've tried the more sheer version of that recently. I forget what it's called, like sorbet or something. Not a big fan of that. I don't think that a liquid lipstick lends itself well to a sheer formula. Like a matte sheer formula doesn't do it for me. I would want it to be sheer and glossy. So it wears in a similar way, but I feel like it's patchy from the beginning. Which is kind of not really the look that you're going for. I am potentially going to do a video on the Kat Von D Everlasting lipsticks soon, because I have a few different colours of those now, and see maybe how they compare to some of the ones that I've shown you here. But I wanted to keep this all budget friendly for those of you that come to this channel for just that, because I know there's plenty of you that do. And I'm sorry it took me so long to finish this video. It's so disjointed, but the next one is going to be Bourjois foundations, because that's been so heavily requested recently. I have 3 at the moment. We're looking at the City Radiance, the CC Cream, and the, oh my goodness, what is it called? The serum one, Healthy Mix. But if you want me to add in a 4th or replace one of those, please let me know, because there'll be a little bit of time between you watching this and me filming that, hopefully, so that you can get that request in there. And yeah, otherwise, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!